Hey there, welcome to the Art Lab. My name is Andy and today we're going to be building a tumbler turner. That's right, this turner will help us put a tumbler or a vase and help us to be able to apply resin or alcohol inks to our creations. So let's dive in and get started. So you're going to need a few things. You're going to need some dowel. This is a 25mm dowel or approximately 1 inch. You need to get a motor which will turn the tumbler, a lamp switch to turn on and off the motor and plug it into the power, and a piece of wood which is approximately 140mm or 5.5 inches wide. In regards to tools, you'll either need a hand saw or a mitre saw, as well as a drill. Ideally, you also need a tape measure and a set square. Start by measuring and cutting 2 boards at 140mm long or 5.5 inches. And measure and cut a 3rd board, which is going to be the base board, which is 6 inches long or 150mm. This will give us the 3 boards. We now need to screw these together, so let's get measuring. So we just want to come in up about 25mm or about 1 inch on either side, and then we want to find half the thickness of the wood and mark that. We then just want to drill those 4 holes and drill right through the thickness of the wood. Now you probably don't need to do this bit, but I'm going to countersink these holes with this countersink bit. We want to put a hole for the dowel to go through, and this needs to happen on both the pieces of wood. Here we've got our plate, and we want to find the center first. So we know that this piece of wood is 140mm. I'll put all the measurements in inches into the description. So half of 140 is 70, and we want to go down 30mm. So I'm going to drill here a 30mm hole, and I'm going to be using a spade bit to do that. You'll also need a spade bit or a hole saw, which is going to be bigger than the dowel that you've purchased. Now a lot of people use PVC piping. I'm going to be using dowel for this one, however, because it's just a little bit easier to attach to the motor, and then you don't have multiple connections. I'm just going to be doing one at a time and not multiple of these tumblers. Right, now it's time to join these together, and I'm just going to use a quick clamp here to just hold that in place so it's nice and flat, and then screw the first hole in and repeat on the other side. Next we want to cut our dowel, and in this case I cut it at 450mm, which is just over 17 inches. Right, so we've got the dowel cut now, which will run through here. Possibly could be a little bit long, but I'm just going to see, because I can always cut it down. And so now the next part is to wire up the motor. So we've got the motor here, which will be mounted on the back here, and so what I need to do is find the center of the dowel and then be able to push this motor into a hole in the dowel there, but it needs to be quite tight so that this will continue to turn. Right, so I've drawn a couple of intersections, try to find the center there. Hopefully that's about right, and I'll go and now drill down approximately just a little bit more than the depth of the motor. Depth of the motor is approximately approximately 15 millimeters. So now that we have the dowel connected to the motor, it's just a matter of lining up the motor and the dowel through the 2 holes that we have on both those end boards. Now I need to wire up the power plug for the lamp switch. Now when you get to this step, obviously make sure you know what you're doing. This is where you are involving electricity into the mix, and so I've got my lamp cable here, my positive and negative, and the cables from the motor. So very important, make sure you know what you're doing, or get a professional in to do this bit for you. And I'm just going to tidy it up by attaching the block to the wood here. Okay, brilliant. So that's all now done, and I'll just zoom out to a wider view here. And the last little piece of the puzzle is to put some pool noodle on there. Now depending obviously on the size of your vessel that you're going to put on there, a cup or a vase or a tumbler, then you may need something a bit bigger. So I've seen people use the little foam footballs as one way, pool noodles as one, and it's really just dependent on the size of the tumbler or a cup. Right, so we're all wired up now and it's time to test it out. So here we go, let's see, moment of truth. And as you can see, our tumbler turner is turning. It's on at the moment and it is going counterclockwise. Let's turn it off, turn it on again, and it should go the opposite way. So like I said earlier, you can probably put different material on the end of your pole here. If you put, for example, a foam football, that would probably be a better fit for this than the pool noodle. The pool noodle I know is perfect for doing your tumblers. In the next video I'm going to put this into action and we're going to have a go with a tumbler, so come along and see that one. Right, I've got a couple of improvements that I've made since I made this tumbler turner, and I've used it a couple of times. So the first one was that the counterbalance wasn't that great, and that's probably why you see a whole lot of these tumbler turners with the wood coming out here. So this wood obviously is a counterbalance for the weight that goes on the arm. So the second improvement I've made on the tumbler turner is to put this flange here. So this here is just actually from a wardrobe, so it's just a chrome rail support kit, and I got 2 of these in the kit, and this just allows the dowel to position itself up nice and high to ensure that it is level. If you made it to the end of this DIY tumbler turner, thank you very much for watching. I'd love it for you to give us a thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm and gets this video out to more people. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to bringing you more videos like this.